Hey, y'all, this is Derek from the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. To see more videos like what you're about to see, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help support this independent podcast. All righty, let's head over to the wide receiver room. Davante Adams finished wide receiver 2 last year, 100 receptions, 180 targets, 1,516 yards, 14 touchdowns, an average of 10.6 targets per game. Thoughts on Davante Adams?
Take everything from last year, crumple it up in a ball, throw it out the window because it is a different quarterback running the show there in Las Vegas.
It's going to be different with Jimmy G there. Now, when Jimmy G is healthy, I think he and Davante Adams can get on the same page, right? Davante Adams is not necessarily a speed receiver. He is a good route runner and has very sure hands, but he is not a speed demon. So I think you go back and you look at some of the things that made Deebo Samuel successful in his rookie season, even before he went to the running back game, right? And now you take that talent level and you up it, right? Because we all agree that Davante Adams is a better wide receiver than Deebo. And so you kind of get some of that in. But, man, I think wide receiver 8 or 9 sounds about right. Like, I do think he gets there. I think they find ways to get him open, and there's enough chemistry there that he still finds a way to get 7-8 touchdowns out of the season. But, man, being in the top 3 of wide receivers is going to be a tall task. Kupp stays healthy. Justin Jefferson able to continue to build upon what he did last year. I think Jamar Chase is going to have a really, really good year. You still have Tyreek down in Miami as long as Tua can stay healthy. There's just a lot of
Diggs
really
and Buffalo.
good. Yeah, and Diggs and Buffalo. There's a lot of really good top-end receivers. So you have to have a special season to finish top 3.
This is going to be an interesting one, and I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts because I wrote it down to myself here, thinking, what if you do that draft strategy if you go with the Davante Adams in the first round? And then the more I thought about it, it's like, are you even going to go with Davante Adams in the first round? Because the draft strategy would be Adams and then Jacobs, and that would put you in quite a bit of a bind there, right?
Yeah, I think Adams, you're going to see him going about mid-second round.
Right.
So you have the ability, again, you can do some special things with that, right? Like if you are a 0 RB guy, right? Pairing Travis Kelce and Davante Adams together could be something really special. So if you go that route, if you are more of a running back centric guy, then you're trying to pair him up with, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan, right? Because Bijan's climbing up draft boards the way it is. Some different combinations like that, which I don't necessarily hate. My biggest thing is if I have Davante Adams as my number 1 receiver, I need to make sure that in that 3rd round, I'm grabbing another one to hedge my bets.
Davante Adams is a guy that's very interesting. And no, Alex, I think that if you take Davante in the first round, you're going to be reaching on him pretty good because he's got kind of that mid-second round capital there. So you let the board fall to you as it does there. I wouldn't have a problem going that route and putting Davante on as my wide receiver 1. And to Kevin's point there, I'm keeping a very close eye in the 3rd round and seeing what receivers are there and what I think would also be there in the 4th round and as far as receiver running back in a single QB league. And if I need to pivot one way or another, but in that kind of draft strategy, you're walking out of the first 4 rounds with 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and you're making sure that you're kind of locked and loaded with some heavy hitters and some guys that have both upside and pretty set floors at that point.